Welcome to Lighthouse Farm. We are new to gardening and farming alike, so come alongside as we journey through the highs and lows of learning to grow our own food. Where are we headed, girl?
To the garden.
To the garden? What are we going to do in the garden?
Pick up the rocks.
Pick up the rocks? Are you going to help me pick up the rocks?
No, because I'm a kitty.
Because you're a kitty, so you're not going to pick up the rocks? I bet kitties could pick up rocks. You don't think so?
Oh yeah, they can't with it.
So, we're headed to the garden. We've been gone for a few days. So we're gonna check it out and uncover the rows. It is definitely mid to high 80s today. It's very hot. The other day I came out here before we left and I showed you guys how everything looked after the frost. It's just looking more and more dead every day, obviously, because it died, but it's cool just to see things transition. Oh, yeah. These look great. These are all the strawberries. Now they're all uncovered. One of my strawberry plants right here has been consumed by ants. This one's not looking too great, but the rest of them, maybe not that one, but the rest of them look decent. Those are all the transplants. These little guys aren't doing so hot, but that's all right. Let's see what is down here. There's a lowly marigold that's doing well. Our artichokes seemed to withstand the frost. There's broccoli down there. There is some parsley there. Brussels sprouts.
Can we go back?
Yes, baby. We can go back. Oh, the beets over there. All in all, everything's looking good. That parsley's looking good right there. These beans, obviously not so great because they're not cold hardy, but the rest of the stuff is looking okay. My poor basil. That eggplant survived.
Let's go!
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going. Yeah, so everything looked really good. I'm really impressed with stuff. That is garlic. And then we've got some elephant garlic growing over there. And then a few little onions here and there. She's clearly ready to go inside. She keeps yelling at me. This one's ready too. Oh, y'all want to see? This is what Bailey wants. It's a crow. It's a crow decoy. It's not a real crow. But I was looking for scarecrows on Amazon, and that kept popping up, a crow decoy, and I was like, this is dumb. Why do they keep doing this? I thought it was a Halloween decoration. But so according to all the reviews on Amazon, the dead crow keeps other crows away. And something was eating our melons. Thought it was the crows. I don't know if it was or wasn't, but if you read the reviews on Amazon on this crow decoy, they're hilarious. So I figured I'd give it a shot. We'll see. So we just folded up the row covers. The row covers are a little damp. Some of them are mostly dried out, but the ones that was on the strawberries were really wet still. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take them into the shop and I'm gonna unfold them and lay them out so that they will dry and not mildew. So that's what we'll do. You don't want to put anything up that's wet because you don't want it to get all yucky and nasty. And yeah. So right now we're turning on the water to the garden because the garden is a little dry and it's like super hot outside. Oh, you know what? I didn't check to make sure that the drip tape is turned on. So each row, I have 2 rows of drip tape that run down it. But as it comes off the main line, there are valves that you can turn on and off. And I had turned them off the other day because I needed to hand water some stuff. And I didn't want it to water the whole garden because I only wanted to hand water. So I turned them all off. I see. Oh, the deer have been coming in and rubbing up on my trees. And I have these little stink bags. I think it's called like Plant Saver or Deer Saver. But the Deer Saver stuff has like bone meal and maybe blood meal. I don't remember. You can look it up on Amazon. But you hang them in these little baggies and it's supposed to keep the deer away. However, we haven't had any issues until now. And I've had these things up all year, but you can see all the rubs on that plant and the other. And there's another one that has it too. Oh, thank you. So I don't know if I need to hang more of those things or if they're just not going to work at all right now. Since it's the rut and they're more territorial right now. I totally just made that up. I have no idea. Maybe I'll Google it and find out why they rub on trees and if they are territorial during the rut, and I'll let you know. But that's it. Need to go check, make sure the drip tanks are turned on. And then go put up the row covers. And she is super hot and super mad because it's 80 something degrees out here. And she's ready to go in. Sweet girl. Thank you for all your help, Penny Rose. So right now I'm cleaning out all the stuff that has died from the frost. The okra has some new buds and stuff on it, like you can see, but I'm over this. It's gonna die again when it freezes again, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out and clear up these beds as much as possible. This okra is super thick. I'll show you the other ones that I planted initially. They're like twice as thick as this. It's insane. And this is probably like 1.5 inches in diameter. The other are probably like 2 to 3. It's crazy how thick they are. But anyways, just out here clearing stuff out, trying to make it look neat-ish. Take everything out of these beds when they're done at the start of winter. So probably like, I don't know, December, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with all of these when they hit maturity. The spot that they're in right now, we have these huge trees right here. In the summer, they cast 0 shade in the afternoon. They do early morning. Actually, they cast shade over most of the garden, like mostly this area back here, until like 10. And then it gets lots of sun. And then the trees that are over there will cast shade at about 6 o'clock on this area. Now, since the days are shorter, this area right here does not see sunlight until about noon because of these trees here. And then by about, I think it's like 4:30, those trees over there are casting shade over here. So these fall plants, they're mostly brassicas, some garlic and onions, but all of that stuff is getting way less sun than I had anticipated. So just according to what I've read, because there's less daylight, or because it's getting less direct sunlight, my days to maturity are going to be a lot slower than what I had originally anticipated. So we'll see how things go. If we add any more beds, we'll likely just add them on to the end here, but I'm contemplating extending these beds, so at least in the fall I can just plant along there and then they'll get more sunlight. But we'll see. I'm just thinking about stuff right now. We'll come through once all of this stuff is done and we'll raise these beds. We'll top dress them. We'll do like what we did to this strawberry bed that I showed you guys before, and just level it back out, add a few more inches of compost, and make it look neat again. We'll come through the walkways and we'll probably add more cardboard. Because just over time, the cardboard's broken down. All these weeds along here have just taken over. So I think what I'd like to do is go through, lay down more layers of cardboard, and then lay down a few more inches of mulch, just to kind of try and suppress the weeds as much as possible. Weed suppression has been not an easy task. This was just a field of grass, so some of it has helped, like in the beds it hasn't been terrible, but we have to stay diligent on weeding the beds. Right now it's not so bad because things are growing a lot slower, so the weeds aren't terrible, but there are some weeds. And then just like I showed you around the perimeter, there's a ton of weeds just encroaching on the paths. So that's what we'll do. And of course we'll take you guys along on the journey to see it as it unfolds. That's the plan right now. I'll show you the end product after I get everything cleaned out. I've gotten some of the stuff cleaned out already, but we'll see. Just walking to the compost pile with the haul of stuff that I cleared out. Just wanted to show you guys that the stuff doesn't have to go to waste. Makes me sad taking stuff out of the garden. I mean, this stuff was dead, but as I showed you, the okra was starting to come back. But again, it's not worth my time to let it continue growing. And I also like things to be neat. Makes me feel better about, I don't know, looking at it and having to deal with it. Makes it seem less scary if things are organized. And that's how things are in most of my life. Like, I like to try to keep my house organized, my kids' toys organized. I'm not super OCD about it, but it definitely makes me feel better and less stressed out if things are tidy and neat. So we're at the back of our property. This is our little compost pile. And I'm gonna go ahead and add this stuff on there. There's a few more things that are out there that I'll bring and layer on top of everything. It kind of winded me a little bit. It's kind of down a hill. The garden's down there, so I have to walk up the hill to get to the compost pile. But anyways, here it is. We'll see how this compost pile does over winter. I highly, highly doubt that it will be finished by spring. So maybe it'll be done by fall, and we'll get to top dress the beds in the fall with our homemade compost. But composting doesn't have to be hard. I'm not a genius. I'm not an expert in composting, but based off of the few things that I've read and looked into, it seems like I can do it, and it's not scary. So, like, quite a bit of this stuff has already broken down, but we've continued to add to it. So it's obviously not ready yet because I keep adding stuff to it. But once I get a healthy dose of leaves on here, then I'm just gonna leave it and not mess with it, and I'll turn it every few weeks, but we'll see how it does, and then I'll just start a new compost pile and see how it goes. This is all trial and error for me. I don't know a lot about this stuff except for what I've read, but if I've learned anything in this gardening journey, it has been application is everything, and doing it yourself is a big part of it, because other people who post videos or who write blogs or who write books even, they're not in my area. They're not dealing with the same fluctuations in temperature or lack of water or whatever it may be, bugs even. So doing it yourself and learning and giving yourself some grace. I've had to give myself a lot of grace. And doing things wrong, and no, it's not going to come out perfect. Yes, it may get messed up. That's not a big deal. Just keep going. Thankfully, my family does not fully and solely rely on me producing food out of this garden. If they did, we would not have eaten well this summer and spring. So thank God that that's not the case, but hopefully in some years, I'm hoping in spring, we will be able to provide like 95% of our produce. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. Again, giving myself some grace and just trying to do what I can. Yeah, this is the base of the okra. It's harder to tell in a video, but that's like easy 2.5 inches. That's nutso. I'm using this handy dandy little thing that Justin got to help cut up some trees when we had that super gnarly storm, and it's helping cut down my okra. Works well.